Question 716. The FHA requires loan applicants to make a down payment of at least of the sales price of the property. A. 1.5%. B. 0.02. C. 0.05. D. None of the above. Correct answer is D. None of the above. The FHA, Federal Housing Administration, does require a down payment, but it's significantly lower than conventional mortgages. For borrowers with a credit score of 580 or higher, the minimum down payment is 3.5% of the sales price. If your credit score is below 580, the down payment requirement increases to 10%. Question 717. Constructive notice for a lien is provided when recording A. Trust deed. B. Covenant. C. Change of ownership. D. Easement in gross. Correct answer is A. Trust deed. A covenant is an agreement or promise contained in a deed or other real estate document. While covenants can affect the use and value of property, the recording of the deed containing the covenant provides constructive notice of the covenant itself, not necessarily a lien. A change of ownership is the transfer of title from one party to another. The recording of the deed that affects the change of ownership provides constructive notice of the transfer of title, not necessarily a lien, although the new deed could be subject to existing recorded liens. An easement in gross is a personal right to use another person's land. While the recording of the document creating the easement provides constructive notice of the easement itself is a right of use, not a lien, which is a financial claim against the property. Recording a document in the public records, usually the county recorder's office, provides constructive notice to the world of the existence of that document and its contents. This means that even if someone doesn't have actual knowledge of the recorded document, they are legally presumed to know about it because it's a matter of public record. A trust deed is a security instrument used to create a lien on real property to secure a loan. When a trust deed is recorded, it provides constructive notice to any subsequent purchasers or lien holders that there is a lien against the property. Question 718. According to the terms of an agreement, a broker is to receive a commission of 7% of the sales price of a particular property that eventually sells for $300,000. How much commission will the broker receive? A. $50,000. B. $21,000. C. $2,100. D. $1,000. Correct answer is B. $21,000. To calculate the broker's commission, you need to multiply the sales price of the property by the commission rate. Sales price equals $300,000. Commission rate equals 7%, which is 0.07 as a decimal. Commission equals sales price times commission rate. Commission equals $300,000 times 0.07. Commission equals $21,000. Therefore, the broker will receive a commission of $21,000. Question 719. When a mortgage lender tries to persuade a borrower to take out a more expensive loan when he could qualify for a cheaper one, it is called A. Redlining. B. Steering. C. Loan enhancing. D. Push loaning. Correct answer is D. Push loaning. Redlining is a discriminatory practice where lenders refuse to give loans in certain areas based on factors like race, ethnicity, or income. Steering is a discriminatory practice where real estate agents attempt to direct buyers or sellers away from certain neighborhoods based on factors like race, ethnicity, or religion. Loan enhancing term doesn't have a specific meaning in the context of mortgage lending. Push loaning occurs when a lender tries to persuade a borrower into a more expensive loan than they qualify for, often to increase the lender's profits. This practice is considered unethical and potentially illegal. Question 720. Buyer Barry and seller Sean agree to a contract for the sale of real property. They each deliver all items to the escrow agent required in their jointly agreed to escrow agreement. During the escrow period, Barry asks if the deposit receipt can be released so he can have it examined by his accountant, but Sean refuses to allow this. The escrow agent should A. Release the deposit receipt, since the escrow officer is the agent of the buyer. B. Not release the deposit receipt. C. Require the parties to submit the dispute to an arbitrator. D. Resign the escrow account. Correct answer is B. Not release the deposit receipt. While arbitration is a method for resolving disputes, the escrow agent's initial responsibility is to adhere to the existing instructions. They don't have the authority to force arbitration unless the escrow agreement specifies it for disputes. Resigning the escrow account is a drastic step that an escrow agent might take if there's an irreconcilable conflict between the parties that prevents them from fulfilling the escrow instructions. However, a simple disagreement about releasing a document within the escrow period doesn't typically warrant resignation at this stage. The agent should first try to facilitate communication and adherence to the original agreement. The escrow agent is a neutral third party acting as a fiduciary for both the buyer and seller. They are responsible for holding funds and documents until all the terms of the sale are met. Releasing the deposit receipt without both parties' agreement would violate the escrow agreement and could jeopardize the transaction. Resigning the escrow account would not resolve the dispute and could delay or jeopardize the transaction. The escrow agent should encourage the parties to discuss and resolve the issue amicably. If they cannot agree, the escrow agent may need to consult with legal counsel to determine the appropriate course of action. Question 721. Which of the following could be called an equitable remedy? A. Specific performance. B. Monetary damages. C. Injunction. D. Both A and C. Correct answer is D. Both A and C. Equitable remedies are court-ordered actions that seek to address unfairness or injustice when monetary damages alone are not sufficient. Here's a breakdown of the options. A. Specific performance. This is a court order requiring a party to fulfill their contractual obligation. For example, if a seller breaches a contract to sell a unique property, the buyer might seek specific performance to compel the seller to go through with the sale. B. Monetary damages. This is a traditional legal remedy that involves awarding money to compensate for losses. While monetary damages can be equitable in some cases, they are not exclusively considered equitable remedies. C. Injunction. This is a court order that prohibits or compels a party to perform a specific action. For example, a court might issue an injunction to stop a party from trespassing on someone else's property. Both specific performance and injunctions are considered equitable remedies because they involve court-ordered actions that go beyond mere monetary compensation. Question 722. Prospective buyers should be able to assume that whatever is attached to the property that is essential to its use will be included when property possession is conveyed. A. Appurtenant. B. Landmarks. C. Fixtures. D. None of the above. Correct answer is C. Fixtures. Appurtenant refers to something that goes along with or belongs to something else. While appurtenances can be fixtures, not all appurtenances are fixtures. Landmarks are notable or prominent features of a place, but they are not necessarily attached to the property and therefore not considered fixtures. Fixtures are items of personal property that have been so attached to the real property. They become part of it and are thus transferred with the property unless specifically excluded in the sales agreement. The legal test for whether something is a fixture often considers 1. Method of attachment. How permanently is it attached? 2. Adaptation. Is it custom-made or essential to the property's use? 3. Relationship of the parties, e.g., owner versus tenant. 4. Intention. Was the intention to make it permanent? 5. Agreement. What did the parties agree upon? The phrase, whatever is attached to the property that is essential to its use will be included, strongly points to the definition of a fixture. Question 723. California charges a tax on the sale of business opportunities which include equipment and fixtures. The tax is called a sales tax, b. excise tax, c. business tax, d. commercial income tax. Correct answer is b. excise tax. Sales tax is commonly applied to retail transactions. It doesn't specifically target the sale of business opportunities. Business tax is a general term that can refer to various types of taxes imposed on businesses, but it doesn't specifically address the sale of business opportunities. Commercial income tax is a tax on the profits generated by commercial businesses, not on the sale of business opportunities. An excise tax is a tax imposed on specific goods or services, often luxury items or activities. In California, there is indeed an excise tax on the sale of business opportunities, including equipment and fixtures. This tax is typically collected by the seller and remitted to the state government. Question 724. The Real Estate Code of Ethics was created by the A. California Association of Real Estate Professionals, b. HUD, c. National Association of Realtors, d. National Real Estate Foundation. Correct answer is c. National Association of Realtors. The National Association of Realtors, NAR, is a trade association that represents real estate agents and brokers in the United States. They have developed the Realtor Code of Ethics in 1913, a set of standards that members must follow. This code outlines ethical guidelines and principles for real estate professionals to adhere to. Question 725. A written summary of the chain of title for a parcel of real property taken from public records is called an A. Abridged chain of title, b. Abstract of title, c. Title update, d. Link of title. Correct answer is b. Abstract of title. Abridged chain of title isn't the specific legal term. A title update or bring down is a recheck of the title records usually done just before closing to ensure no new documents have been recorded since the initial title search. It's not a summary of the entire chain. Link of title is too general term. The chain of title refers to the entire unbroken sequence of conveyances, and an abstract summarizes that chain. An abstract of title is a condensed history of all instruments, like deeds, mortgages, liens, wills, etc., affecting a particular parcel of land. It recorded in the public records, arranged in the order of recording, and showing the original grant from the government down to the present owner. It essentially summarizes the chain of title.